How y'all doing? Welcome into week 17 of the Leather Helmet Fandom. This is Josh Consman, solo casting again. Unfortunately, Caleb caught a bug, got a little sick. Wasn't a New Year's hangover, but he still got the bad part of it. So we've been off for 2 weeks. So I'm just gonna recap the last 2 weeks, so week 15 and week 16. So going to review week 15, Caleb pulled out the win for that week. We both had positives, but he went positive 6.8 and I went positive 5.9 units. Going into week 16, I won that week last week plus 2.43 units, and Caleb at a negative 2.1 units. So overall in the season, we're both positive now, so it's a good thing. Moving up to almost at 40 units total combined. I'm at 35.35, double, and Caleb's at 2.7. So looking to break into the real money. So just a refresh back on last week. I did lose, I don't know, it's been a while now, like 4 weeks ago, and I lost on the spinning wheel to give away 50% of my next week that is profitable. And that was week 15 was my next profitable week. So I'll be giving away half of my 5.91 units, so about 2.5, 2.9, just under 3 units. I'll be giving away to a random follower. So we're gonna go ahead and pick that now. Go to our social medias between IG, Twitter, and Facebook. Put everybody in. So the only thing we're going to have to look out for is if we get any fake, porn stars, whatever, pedos that are just trying to get people to buy their free sex tape. We're going to search them up right now, and if they're not a real account, I'll respin it and re-randomize it. But let's get right to it. Let's see who we pulling 3 units out to. All right. Well, we're going to have one. Here we go. Should work. Oh, and 1, 2, 3, click. Tiff Waters 406. Sounds like an IG account. Let me just check it real quick, make sure it's real. It sounds real. But Tiff Waters, congrats. You probably don't watch our show. Just guessing by the name. It sounds like a girl. Granted, there's a decent amount of chicks that like sports nowadays, so it's definitely a real account. Mutual friends. All right, cool. So Tiff Waters got the just under 3 units. We'll reach out to you hopefully later today. I don't know. It's fantasy football championship week. I'm in 2 championships, both of my leagues. So, but I will remember to reach out and we'll get you that 3 units. All right, moving on to we gotta spin the wheel twice, so I gotta hurry this up. So we're gonna go right into our. No, probably not. Right into our wheel. So I'm gonna spin this twice. So week 15 for me, and then week 16 for Caleb. So let's just go ahead and spin this up. Kimmel. Can I get this? Alright, this is good.
Bounce back.
So Caleb's got a bounce back. So his next profitable week, he's got to give away 50% of his winnings. Now let me just switch up the wheel so it has mine in it. So I did daddy daughter, I did all that. Man, I lost a lot. I did hate him pick. Let me double check because I feel like I'm missing one. So we got bounce back I did, rep it hard I did, dirty birdie shot I didn't do, so I gotta put that in, and that's it. So dirty birdie. Wow. Strange that I've lost less or lost more weeks, but I'm way up in units, so let's see. Alright, so let's get to
Slapfest.
Slapfest. Alright, so next week, Kale will bring on a surprise slap for me since he's sick, and I'd rather not him slap me while he's sick. So next week, we got a slap coming up, and the next profitable week for Caleb, he will give out 50% of his profits to a random follower. Alright, let's move right on to week 17. We got about 53 minutes to kick off, so let's get these props in. Let's get these money-making bets out. Where am I at? I'm all over the place. Alright, get rid of my wheel. Get rid of this. Alright, so you might already start reading the props, which is good, and get ahead of the game. But I'm going to roll through all my analysis on these picks that I got for this week. Alright, so first up, I have the Bills to win every quarter versus the Falcons this week. They gave it at plus 500 as a special on Fandom. I got half a unit on this pick. I really like it at the odds more and just the matchup. I see the Bills dominating this game. Their defense is really going to step up towards the end of the year. They're trying to get that division first place because the Patriots, I believe, still hold it by one game. I still think they are the better team than the Patriots, even though the Patriots have been scheming so well and look scary in a not exciting way. But enough about the Patriots. The Bills have done this 4 out of their 15 games already this year, and another 3 games they only lost by 1 quarter. So very close to doing this 7 times, almost 50%. And you're getting it at plus 500 versus the Falcons, and the Falcons have lost all 4 quarters, 3 out of their 15 games. They really haven't. Falcons haven't had to play anybody that difficult. They won the easiest schedules. Their only difficult matchups were Bucks and Patriots. So I just see, as long as the Bills don't blow them out and just don't care at the end, it should be an easy win, 4 wins, and we get that plus 500. So I'm putting in a half a unit. Next prop, I got Tyler Boyd. So as much as I like Tyler Boyd, I still realize how many mouths there are in the Bengals to feed between Higgins, Boyd, and Chase. And then you also have Mixon, who's a pretty good pass catching back. So I got him under 20.5 long range reception. I think they're going to keep him in the slot. Not too many long plays for him. They'll really target more Higgins. I would like to see Chase get a bounce back game in a big game versus the Chiefs. But Chiefs defense has been looking really, really good the last couple weeks. Specifically the yards after catch. So I think that's where Boyd excels. So I think if they're able to make that tackle, he's not going to get a long enough target to hit this. It's at negative 122. Not the best odds, but I got 0.75 units on it. So 3/4 of a unit on that. Moving on to my next pick, I got A.J. Brown under 70.5 receiving yards. Negative 114 odds. I got 1 unit on this. Even though he had a big blow-up game when he came back, his first game back, if you watched the game, you wouldn't have thought it was a blow-up game. Like, he was really struggling. He just got hyper targeted. He had one big, I think it might have been 50 yards. There's definitely 40 plus yards, but it could have been like 50, 60 yard play that boosted his reception yardage way up. But Tannehill was struggling. AJ Brown was struggling. The Dolphins is his matchup this week, and their secondary is I want to say top four in my opinion, and probably most professional analysis opinions. So I see Brown finishing with 60 yards or less. Only worry, obviously, if he's hyper targeted, then yeah, there's a good chance if he gets 9 receptions, then he probably should push close to this line, if not over. But I still like it versus the matchup. I got it at 1 unit. Next prop, I got Tua Tagovailoa. I can never say his last name, but Tua, everybody knows him, Dolphins QB, under 34.5 pass attempts. So staying in the same game, negative 114 odds. I got 1.5 units on this. The pace of game, I believe, will be very slow. Both these teams want to control the ball, want to run the ball, want to rely on their defense between the Titans and the Dolphins. So I see both teams running out the clock, not getting a lot of opportunities to pass the ball, and at the same time, I think the Dolphins can actually win this game and keep the lead. And to do that, they're going to control the ball, not rely on Tua too much throwing wise. And he's hit 4 out of his last 5 games. This line, he's been under, and most of the games have been by a decent amount in the 20s, low 20s. So I like it a lot. Next prop, I got that at 1.5 units, so pretty high on it. I think it's going to hit easily, even if he gets to the 30 mark. Michael Carter under 43.5 rushing yards. I got it at negative 114 odds. I got 1 unit on it. I just can't see the Jets ever not being way behind versus the Bucks. Even though the Bucks have a decent amount of injuries between Godwin and Mike Evans questionable, the Bucks are still going to run the ball, run over them. They're going to use Gronkowski. They're going to use Evans here and there. Antonio Brown is probably going to have a big game. Like, there's just no way the Jets keep a lead unless they get a lucky play and Wilson breaks all one off, or I don't know, there's just blown coverage or something that's not very common happens. Otherwise, Jets are going to be trailing. They're not going to be able to run the ball much. Michael Carter is in a committee with Ty Johnson back. So I really don't think he's going to get much. He went under 11 out of his 15 games this year. Granted, most of that's just because he hasn't gotten as much work as he did last week. But with that said, I think he's still going to split carries, and he's not going to be averaging more and more work, even though he is the quote-unquote star rookie that's supposed to come in this year for them. I wouldn't say star, but he was high hype. Got that at 1 unit. And my last prop, well, not really last prop, but last single prop is Deebo Samuel. I love him. He's in my fantasy. He's going to bring me home the 2 chips. But I got him over 24.5 rushing yards at negative 113, 1 unit. I really like this. I'm surprised I'm not putting more units on it, but I'm going to stick with what I got already written down. Elijah Mitchell is still questionable, but he is expected to play. So you have Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, and Deebo Samuel. And then you also have Trey Lance starting, which is the key to this because Trey Lance, although he is said to have developed in training camp, he's still not going to be relied on too much in the passing game until he gains that confidence and really chemistry between the receivers, which he doesn't have too much of yet. So I see them trying to run the ball more. They should easily be able to control this game versus the Texans because the 49ers defense is pretty good. And when they're playing their best ball, it's going to destroy the Texans offense completely. So they should be able to run the ball more. Deebo has hit this in his last 6 games in a row. And he's hit it every game with 5+ carries. So really, the only way this doesn't hit is if they don't use him in the run game, which they definitely will because of the success they're having. I mean, he's averaging almost double all their running backs' yards per carry at 7 yards plus per carry, which is insane. The dude's a beast. As long as he gets 4, just give him 4 carries, and this man's hitting it. I guarantee it. All right, so moving on to some of the outside of the props that are on these scroll texts. You can still look at which I went over. Down on the bottom, I got my same game parlays for this week, which I like a lot. I actually have quite a few because of a promo, but I have 2 down here that I like. The first one's a little more of a long shot, but we got the Chiefs Bengals, plus 437 odds. I got 0.75 units on it. Let me pull it up for you so you're not too confused by this scroll text. Where we at? Where we at? Just gonna pop it. Can we get it? Can we get it? No? There we go. Alright. So we got Chiefs Bengals under 46 or under 61.5 total points. I think they're really gonna defense is really gonna show up this week for both teams as they both push for the playoffs. Even though more than likely the Chiefs are definitely in, it's just the Bengals that are really trying to push for it. And they've had a solid defense when they show up, and the Chiefs have been playing better. So I just see the offense really struggling to get going, even though they both have explosive players. I just think their defense is going to show up more than offense this week for them. We got Darrell Williams, anytime TD. I got to hurry up. My daughter's about to come in and blow this whole podcast up. Darrell Williams, anytime touchdown. Tyler Boyd, under 49.5 receiving yards. There it goes. T. Higgins, 25-plus receiving yards. I got it at 0.75 units. My next one I love. Almost made it my lock, but same game parlay, Colts and Raiders. I got Colts money line, Colts over 1.5 TDs. Like, how do either of them not hit? I mean, the Raiders maybe upset them, maybe, but Colts at home and Wentz is playing. I don't know. And then under 54.5 total points. I just think the Raiders games have all been low scoring recently. Colts have a good defense. Even if they put up 30 points, I can still see this going under because they'll blow out the Raiders. But negative 115 odds, I got 1.5 units on it. So some long shots today, or this week. This is a super long shot, but hey, I mean, he hasn't hit since it's been on the Steelers. But Le'Veon Bell, 2+ TDs. We got Fournette out. I think Le'Veon Bell, if he's used at all, he'll be used at the goal line. So as long as he gets some touches in the goal line, I think this is actually a strong possibility. Plus 10,000 odds. I had to take a little dabble on it, so 0.1 units. And then another one I like as a long shot, plus 17,000. So odds can go up even more. 197 odds. So a TD parlay. We got David Montgomery, 2 touchdowns. Keyshawn Vaughn. So kind of going against the grain of Le'Veon Bell. I think he might get a little bit more work since the Bucs should blow out the Jets. I think Keyshawn Vaughn will be the next man up to get the running game, and they'll just sit Jones. He looked explosive in his one catch and run from Brady. So I think as long as he gains Brady's trust, he'll get a couple touches. He might break one off. And then Tyler Lockett, 2+ TDs. I mean, the man's one of the best receivers, easily the most underrated. They get a good matchup with Detroit Lions. So great matchup for him. As long as they don't blow him out, even if they do, honestly, I think Wilson's going to look for a safer target, and Lockett can do this easily. I mean, he's proven it over his career. All right, and then moving on to the lock of the week, plus odds. So hopefully I didn't try to push it too hard, but I think this is a safe same game parlay. Got the Cardinals and Cowboys. I got Cardinals plus 14.5. I really think they're going to show up after a couple bad weeks versus Cowboys that have a beatable defense. Look to them for them to bounce back even without Hopkins. I think their defense shows up this week, slows down the Cowboys, and Cardinals can at least pull out plus 14.5. They better. Kyle Murray over 199.5 passing yards. Honestly, again, sounds silly. It should hit easily. The hardest one, which honestly might not be the hardest one, but most likely not to hit, is Kirk over 30.5 receiving yards. Kirk has been hyper targeted ever since Hopkins left. I still think he's going to get at least 8 targets. Hopefully Kyle Murray doesn't struggle too much and gets confidence, doesn't go down too much if he gets picked off, because that's all the Cowboys are really good at is turnovers. Other than that, they let up receiving yards like crazy. So I see Kirk going over this easily. They have other targets, but I mean, AJ Green's very old. He's in his 30s. He's more like a one-trick pony at this point. He wasn't before. And they have Zach Ertz, who's Again, old, not much after the catch. They have what's his name? Who's actually really good after the catch. The young rookie, forget his name. But Kirk, 8 targets or more, and he hits his plus 115 odds. I got 5 units on it. Let's roll. But that's it for this week. I try to roll through it quick. Don't forget, Tiff Wars will get you your 3 units out to you. Caleb's next profit week, 50%, and then next week I get slapped by something. Hopefully nothing gross. All right. Good seeing y'all. Good luck on your fantasy championship.